Blackboard Wednesdays. Something a little different. This is a Blackboard Wednesday special edition, episode 34. I'm reading a book, and that's why I've been inspired to switch it up a little bit. Now, this book I'm reading, this guy, a motivational speaker, he happened to be giving a speech on a college campus with some troubled freshmen that just entering the college atmosphere. And one of his partners has said, hey, can I record you while you're doing your speech? He's like, yeah, it's cool, no problem. So the guy recorded it. And so he recorded him. And once he recorded him, this guy just doing what he normally do on a day-to-day, on a regular basis. So he got recorded. Once he recorded him, his other friend say, hey, they got this new thing that just came out on the internet. It's called YouTube. It's called Instagram. So the guy say, can I take the video and upload it to YouTube? This guy said, yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's good. So he uploaded the thing to YouTube. The video sat on YouTube for 3 years. This is what it said in the book. For 3 years. With no movement. No interaction. It just sat there dormant for 3 years. Suddenly, a potential NFL draftee needed some motivation for his workouts. Needed some motivation for him to run the stairs, run the hills, lift the weights, get himself prepared for the NFL combine. So the guy took the video off of YouTube, chopped it up, created a workout video or something of that nature, and the thing go viral. The thing go viral. And the name of the video is The Guru. How bad do you want to succeed? But it's The Guru. It's the guy I'm talking about is actually Eric Thomas. So I'm reading his book. Now, after the video goes viral, after sitting in the basement of YouTube for 3 years, Money Mayweather take the video and give the video more exposure, right? After Money Mayweather give the video exposure, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and the Miami Heat used that same video for motivation to win their first championship. So Eric Thomas had built up a good reputation, credibility, but his whole thing was, he's an athletic type of dude. So his whole thing was the baseball cap, the Nike tennis shoes, and the gym clothes. So he had built up enough status to where a corporation reached out to him and said, hey, we want you to come and do a speech for us. We done heard you. We want you to do a speech for us. What's your price? At this time, his status then increased. So he said, hey, it's $10,000. The lady on the other end of the phone said, okay, let me talk with my superiors, my supervisor. I reached back out to him. Next day, the lady called him back. Hey, it's approved. We can pay you $10,000 to do the speech. But we have one suggestion. And he said, well, what is that? And she said, can you please put on a suit and tie? That's what made me put this on. Okay, it's a remedy to it. It's a remedy to my madness. Anyway, so he said, can you put on a suit and tie? Eric Thomas say, he told his assistant to tell the lady, no, I cannot put on a suit and tie. If you want me to speak, I'm going to be organic, I'm going to be authentic, and I'm going to speak the way I speak with everyone else. In my baseball cap, my tennis shoes, and my athletic gear. And he always had the tightest, top of the line Air Jordans or Nikes or something of that nature, right? So his partner was upset. He was disappointed that, man, listen, we're getting a little money, but we ain't in position to turn down 10 racks. He said, hey, I'm not finna to sacrifice my soul. I'm not finna to jump through no more hoops. I done A, B, C, and D. I'm not finna do E, F, G, and all the rest of the alphabets. So no. His partner, man, but he had to reveal to the lady, well, he said he can't do it. If you can't accept him the way he is, he won't do it. Bang. He missed out on that money. Now me, in my financial position, and in the position I'm in, seeking to get that type of exposure, man, I've got the hard collar shirt. Give me a tie, help me tie it up. And I'm there. Okay? With the expectation of doing a great speech, and I can put on the hoodie and the Nikes for the next event. That's me though. Eric Thomas had different principles. He had a philosophy that he was not from the bow down or submit to whatever somebody else wanted him to do. So he didn't do it. That's how God works, because God is always in the mix. When you're a righteous person and when you have a relationship with the Lord, he's connecting the dots. So he turned that down. A couple of weeks later, another corporation called him. Say, hey, we like what you do. We want you to come and do a speech for us. And he say, okay, yeah, fine. Well, what's the price? It's $10,000. Okay, I get back with you in a day or so. He get back with him the next day. The next day, say, hey, we want you, we approved the $10,000, but we have one suggestion. Like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Then he said, the only thing we want you to do is make sure you got the baseball hat on, the gym clothes, and the Nikes, the tennis shoes. Because that's how we know you from all of your videos. And we want you to bring that same passion, that same enthusiasm when you come and speak to our corporation. So he said, thank God I stood on my principle. Bang, so he got that 10,000. That 10,000 opened up other opportunities. Then he meets, this is all in the book. I'm reading the book right now. The name of the book is You Owe You. So then he meet this other guy named Bob Proctor. I done read his work. He just passed away a few months ago, maybe a year ago. I read his work, 80-year-old. Done a lot of work, right? He real positive individual, white guy. He approached Eric Thomas and said, listen, young man, how much are you charging for your speaking engagements? He said, and before Eric Thomas can answer, he said, you shouldn't be charging, you shouldn't be charging no less than $20,000 each event. Each time you speak, you shouldn't be getting no less than $20,000. Right? Now, when I post my Blackboard Wednesday videos, I always say I'm available for speaking engagements for a slight fee. My slight fee is $1,000. Okay? Because I'm trying to get the exposure. I'm trying to generate, if I can do 5 speeches in a month to generate $5 extra of cash flow from what I've got passion to do, and I'm gonna bring more than just, anyway, I ain't gonna go into all that. If you're interested, reach out. I emailed a few different organizations. One organization immediately responded back. 2 organizations immediately responded back. One organization say, Herm, come and pick up the check. I don't have my dates yet, But when I get them, I reach out to you. So you can go to juvenile hall, and so you can come down to my facility and speak to my youth and my students, to my students and my staff. I'm not going to reveal who kicked in the $1,000 with no hesitation because they know my reputation. Because they know and have followed me since '89. I ain't going to reveal too much. 2 people reached out, 1 person wrote the check, and I'm confident that the other individual going to write the check. A couple of other people just couldn't make it happen. No problem. It's all love. But maybe a couple of weeks later, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, motivational speaker, that was the first motivational speaker that I listened to. I read his book. You know, I had read the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King, the Huey P. Newton, the Angela Davis, the Black Panthers, the Donald Gordon. I had read all them books and still have a stack of them books and still reflect on them books from time to time. Message to the Black Man, Elijah Muhammad. I read all of that. Okay? I read all of that. But I want my mind to continue to expand. So I'm picking up in other books. I just glance through. It can be a Caucasian woman, man, or whoever's on the cover of the book. I'm going to read it. So Les Brown, I read his book. I became a fan. I have listened to him speak. And Les Brown is the Michael Jordan of motivational speakers for African Americans. Now, Les Brown reached out to Eric Thomas and said, hey, young man, I like what you're doing. Let's have lunch. They sat down, had lunch, done an interview. This is all in the book. Okay? This is all in the book. I'm not just running my mouth. This is all in the book. This is a special edition of Blackboard Wednesdays today because I'm passionate about what I'm reading. Okay? And I know that there's opportunities out there. So anyway, Les Brown told Eric Thomas, he said, listen, young man, you got a few rough edges. You got some things to work on, but you are so unique. You have so much wisdom. You reach so many different nationalities, young, old, and middle-class individuals. You shouldn't be charging no less than $50,000 each speech in the United States. And if you got to go internationally, it's $100,000. $100,000. You shouldn't charge no less than $100,000 if you got to go internationally. If you're doing speeches in the United States, it's $50,000. Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. That shit got me inspired. Okay, that's what I'm reading right now. Y'all tap back in next week, right here on Blackboard Wednesdays. And if you, pick up that Eric Thomas book. Great book. Great book. So check this out. It's like, so when I heard that about the video, about him leaving his shit in the YouTube basement, guess what? Got to emulate somebody, especially if they doing it and you see, you can't criticize success. The videos that I do for Blackboard Wednesdays, if you guys is not tripping on them, or if you guys, my loyal audience that like them, appreciate them, I love you for that. But I'm putting them in the basement of the YouTube channel right now. I think I got like 10 of them in there, 20 of them in there. And they may sit there for 5 years. I may be dead and gone. But that material gonna be there. And maybe my kids can eat off of it. My grandkids can eat off of it one of these years. Or maybe I can eat off of it next year. If somebody do what the football player did and create a situation to where I fuck around and go viral, you'll hear about it if I do. Peace. Tap back in next week, right here on Blackboard Wednesdays. One love, peace, and power to the people. I'm out.